Hey everybody, we wanted to do Testimony Tuesday today. We are up at the warehouse and we are about to work on some new inventory, so be expecting some fun videos soon with that. But we wanted to share a really cool story with you about the process of our renovations and the timing of it. But before we do that, Lauren's going to tell you a little story in the Bible that connects these two together.
So in the Bible, the book of Nehemiah, they realize that Nehemiah realizes by word of mouth that the wall around Jerusalem is in need of great repair, and it mourns his heart. And he is not even living in Jerusalem at the time, and he goes to the king and asks the king, can he go back and work on the wall? And so the king gives him permission, even gives him favor to travel there and not be attacked by other countries and different things as he goes. And when he gets there, he spends the first 3 days praying and fasting and mourning over the ruins of the city and how terrible it is. And then after those 3 days, he gets up and he begins to work, and they begin to work on the wall, rebuilding the wall. And so God reminded me of this story when we first started working on the warehouse, which was, we were working on the warehouse and cleaning out the original store, the little small store that we were in, on July the 10th. And so when I started looking back and God brought this story to my mind and I started reading it, what God was doing was he was using that story to encourage me and to encourage Nikki that this is something that he's called us to do, and he will equip us to do it, and we will be able to do it in record time. And so we did not expect to be in until maybe even later in September, October, but we set a goal for July 31st to open that day because
August 31st.
August 31st.
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend, August 31st. And so when I went back and I looked to see the first day that we started working to the last day we started working, which was July the 10th to August the 30th, and I counted, and I just recounted again to make sure before we did this video, it was literally 52 days. And that's how many days it took Nehemiah and all of the people that were helping him to build the wall in Jerusalem. And so it's just so heartwarming to us that God would put that on our hearts and give us that example to follow as we're doing the work that we needed to do here in the warehouse to get ready for Junketeeks Market to happen. Now, Nikki and I didn't do all this work by ourselves, and you've heard us say over and over again, a lot of people helped, and especially my husband and my children and Nikki's husband and her children, and just coming up, just pouring out for us to help us get to where God was calling us to be. And that's exactly what happened in Nehemiah. All the people came out and people were assigned a section of the wall, and that's where they were supposed to work. And in one of the things that I really love about this story is it didn't come easy. They had people taunting him, telling him it's the craziest thing that they had ever heard.
Still doing renovations. That's what the noise is.
My husband's back there working on our doors. But they kept being taunted and saying, you can't build those walls. You're not going to be able to do this. You can't do that. And they just kept trying to ignore every taunt and everything that the enemy came against them with. And they finished the wall in 52 days. And so what it says in the Bible is they worked with one hand and they held their weapon with the other. Well, our weapon is the Bible, God's word. And what he says in the Bible is true, and it will not return void. It will go and do its intended purposes. So I knew that because God had given us that word from the word, and I had shared it with Nikki, and we had come in agreement that we believed God would do that it would happen, and it did. And so on my birthday, my friend Susan Harper, who has been prayer coverage for us for the whole time, I shared the story with her, and this is what she gave me for my birthday. And it's the verse that tells us, it says, Nehemiah 6, verses 15 through 16. So the wall was finished on the 25th day of Elul in 52 days. And it happened when all our enemies heard of it and all the nations around us saw these things, that they were very disheartened in their own eyes, for they perceived that this work was done by our God.
Yes. So our testimony today was this was a work from God purely. I mean, yes, we were vessels and he used us to start this, but sorry, the noises in the background, keep it real. Were so many parallels to this story. They started with prayer. They started with fasting. That's what Lauren and I were doing throughout the spring, just really seeking the Lord on this. And then, like she's alluded to, like everybody took their portion of the wall. So, each booth represented their portion of the wall. And so it's just neat to see how just the fun parallel. God didn't have to do that. He didn't have to share Nehemiah with Lauren through prayer. It didn't have to be 52 days. Like we couldn't have planned that. Like we started July 10th because that's when we could get in here. It ended on August 30th because that was the day before we were opening. So, I mean, it was just, we couldn't have planned that. So it was just a neat, huge God wink saying that he's a part of this. And so we just wanted to give God the glory today
and encourage you to look for God. And when you're in situations, look to the Word. Get a word from the Lord. Ask God for a word. He'll give you one.
Yeah.
Get a word from the Lord and then stand on it and watch him do what he promises he will do.
Yep.
He'll never let you down.
Absolutely. We love you guys. Thanks for watching.